It's Steve Katsikaris, Norland, Coboconk Watchdog, just talking to you here from Trails End Road, Norland, Ontario, here on a lovely May Day. Yeah, May Day, literally. Just doing this video here today to just discuss some of the things that's been happening in our community about some suspicious activity that I can now prove that we got a serious problem with corruption in our government here in the city of Kawartha Lakes. I've been doing some investigating now for about 6 years on this, and as I mentioned before in my other videos, it's about illegal sewage systems. Now, illegal sewage systems are one thing, but the level that government has gone by assaulting me and my family repeatedly for the last 6 years has just gotten absolutely crazy. And now with the evidence that we got from the Commissioner of Ontario proving the reason why the police are getting away with this by coming up here and sticking machine guns in our faces and using explosives to blow down the door without a warrant is that we've been classified as terrorists in the eyes of the Canadian government and starting the RCMP. All right, and according to the Criminal Code of Canada, no one can be charged in this country if they're out looking for the common good like I am, community watchdog. And to see Bill C-51 and S-7, and that's what's being applied here now, being used on a community watchdog that cares about his country and his community is absolutely disgusting. And the courts do not even have to unveil that the police are using S-7 and Bill C-51 on us. I just went over a video today on YouTube. It was called Press for Truth. And the reporter there, a young guy, he did a really good job on Bill C-51 and how dangerous it is and how it's supposed to be used for terrorists. But we can see that this law is not being used for terrorists. It's being used for people like me that find out about wrongdoing in government. Now the problem with this is if we allow this to continue on in our country, it'll be the end of our country. You know, like if corruption is allowed to flourish and people who witness this corruption are set up and thrown in jail or even murdered, then it's going to send a strong message for generations in the future to always be afraid of government, right? We need to stand up to government and say, listen, you represent the people of the country, you do not dictate to them. And that's where we need to start to hold government accountable for things. So getting back to what's gone on here in Trails End regarding these illegal sewage systems is that we're also, as you can see, activists against the police state and its anti-constitutional laws, which trump Her Majesty's laws, the Charter on Rights and Freedoms, which, you know, that's what I stand behind. I already taken sides. I stand with the Queen, and so does my family. And all these laws, like S-7 and Bill C-51, is nothing more than an American invasion, really, in my opinion. It's not an actual army coming across the border. It's a political movement, a political force. The U.S. Patriot Act is the prime example. What I'm trying to get at here is that S-7, our reciprocal law to this, and also Bill C-51 are basically these American laws that have been allowed to be implemented here in Canada. And we can see the American style of policing, the militarization of the police force. You know, all these cops in town now seem to have machine guns. And I think I identified them as the Colt 8 machine gun. Right now they claim to be semi-automatic, but initially they are designed to be full automatic. So that's probably just a question of time that cops have full automatic machine guns running around in a town that doesn't have any crime. Yeah, except for people finding out about illegitimate operations in government or within the community. So now that I'm doing this video, I want to go over exactly and lay out the steps and who's doing what and why they're doing what. So one, first of all, I'm a whistleblower. Two, second of all, I'm a constitutionalist. Federal government of Canada does not like guys like me. Neither does the Ontario government finding out about guys like me. They like the corrupt ways. They like the new police state. So they want to get rid of me, plain and simple. But they just can't go around and buy up houses with your tax money and not disclosing where they're getting this money from. That's why they need a party outside the government called Aboriginal people. They're a self-government. They don't need to disclose anything. The chiefs always rip off the tribe anyways. I know that for being a bush pilot up north. So I know how they operate. So what's going on is government wants to get rid of me. They're using the police force They're using mercenaries first, who now have left the equation for now. And now they're using Aboriginal money from the casino in Scugog to purchase these properties up here on Trails End. And all the people that came here, yeah, all acting the same way, all suspicious. And all these cottages were bought over the winter. These places couldn't sell in the summertime for 5 years. All of a sudden they got bought up. So we knew somebody with deep pockets was involved here. And that was back in 2015. So we're in 2018 now. That's how long this investigation of mine's been going. So what the whole thing is that the government's trying to put these people in here to, as I say, stir up some stuff, get the cops up here, have a shooting, then they'll say I'm nuts, make up some lie, and bingo. Whistleblower dead, all those people in government off the hook, and also we can see the mafia here too. Yeah, that's how they're getting their money, is basically being able to buy the cottages off the Aboriginals for half price, stay a year, try to get something going, and then sell only 1 year later and double their money for full market retail. So that's the money laundering going on. All right, and then once this is all said and done, how do the Indians get paid off? Simple. The Ontario government and the federal government will give them legitimate grants, like, you know, housing, daycare, whatever, transportation. And the chiefs, since they don't need to disclose because they're a separate government, they'll just take a couple million off for themselves and stick it in their pocket. So that's how government kills activists these days, is by using Aboriginal money that they don't have to disclose, and using private companies who are mercenaries, and working with organized crime. And we got the documents proving that the Ontario government has altered the timeline of the documents of these properties up here. So all the people that built these places, they're not on the documents. It just looks like these guys here did it. No, these houses were here before they were here. And these places went up in like 2010, 2011. So it's not that long ago. And the history has been deleted. And that's where I come in handy, because I'm a history student at Ryerson University. I know what to look for: names, dates, places, etc. And I can see the manipulation of court documents. You can see there, you need a judge's name. There's also another thing too, they need to be dated as well to make the document legal. So the police are writing up their own arrest warrants, using S7 to grab people without charging them, and then making up some lie about what you did, like pulling into someone's driveway. That never happened, you know. And we're the ones that are being stalked up here. We're the ones that can't enjoy our property, and the courts don't want to disclose. And now the Commissioner of Ontario is getting a little bit of cold feet of me having a hearing with them so I can, you know, talk about this. No one wants to talk about this. And then I'm on mainstream media. I can't get on mainstream media. I can't even make the radio, the school newspaper. You hear some silly stories in mainstream media about a cat getting stuck in an elevator or something. And up here on Trails End, I get hit 3 times now with a SWAT team. I can't even make the newspaper. So that's what's going on. So total conspiracy. I just thought I'd put this up on YouTube and just let people know what's going on. And once again, you know, if you really believe in freedom in this country, you got to say no to the police state and support Her Majesty and her laws. The Charter on Rights and Freedoms and the BNA Act of 1867, along with the Criminal Code. What's going on is not her laws, it's S7, Bill C-51, which are totally unconstitutional. So I'm going to put this up on YouTube, and once again, everybody, stay tuned for my next video, and so long. Take care. Bye-bye.